You know, I'm gonna make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all gonna cry when they get home. You know, and I meant that. I meant that.
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we gotta fight, and I'm gonna win the fight. As simple as that.
For you,
I think I said this before people killed me. I said that this reminds me, and it could be like Pacquiao when he fought De La Hoya. So at the end of the day, looking forward off of the last fight with Canelo, I like Crawford every bit as much as I did before.
Terence Crawford has never been one to back down from a challenge. And ahead of a showdown with Canelo Alvarez, he has delivered a chilling warning that has the boxing world on edge. Known for his ruthless precision and unshakable confidence, Crawford sent a final message to Canelo that made it clear he's not just stepping into the ring for glory, and he's coming to dismantle the Mexican superstar's legacy.
Listen, however they rate me, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we gotta fight, and I'm gonna win the fight. As simple as that.
Can I ask you about if there's any rematch clause with this fight with Canelo?
No, it's not.
Is that something you push for?
No, I didn't.
And there's any weight restrictions to the fight at all?
No, it's not.
A lot of fighters would like to put on a weight restriction to this type of fight. Why didn't you want to do that?
Because I want him at his best. I don't want no excuses. I don't want no, reasons why, he didn't feel good or anything. I want him at his best.
Many pundits argue that Canelo holds a clear physical edge over Crawford, portraying him as the larger and stronger man, having stepped up multiple weight classes. Yet, Crawford remains unbothered. He emphasizes that sparring with bigger opponents has been a constant throughout his career, from heavyweights to light heavyweights, as part of his regular preparation. His camp reinforces this narrative, noting that even when Crawford was lighter, he consistently trained with bigger partners and never faced anyone his own size in camp. This extensive experience against larger fighters, he insists, neutralizes any perceived disadvantage when facing someone like Canelo.
You know, I'm gonna make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all gonna cry when they get home. You know, and I meant that. I meant that. Everybody's talking about the size and me being a smaller fighter, but if you look on the stage, I've been sparring these big dudes my whole career. Like how I'm gonna take a punch, they punch me every time we spar. So it's okay. Once we get in the ring and they see something different, like each and every time, there's gonna be another excuse why, the reason why Terence won and this and that and this, but I can assure you I'm gonna be victorious, and after that we're gonna have another parade.
In an interview, Crawford explained that he took the initiative reaching out to Saudi power broker Turki Al-Sheikh to help make the super fight with Canelo a reality. Al-Sheikh subsequently played a pivotal role in bringing the bout to life, orchestrating the lucrative deal that will unfold this September. At no point did Crawford express hesitation about the weight jump. He embraced it aggressively, dismissing any idea that he's daunted by Canelo's size advantage.
He going to Turkey, Al-Sheikh, and letting him know that I was interested in fighting Canelo. And him and a lot of people, at first, they was like, nah, he's too big. You need to, focus on your weight class and things like that. But at the time, I'm like, well, there's no one at my weight class that's on that level of Canelo. Canelo come from a smaller weight class. He's not a massive fighter. 6 foot tall. He's thick, but he's not giant. Picking Canelo was a thing that we look deeply into.
Shakur Stevenson dismisses concerns about weight differences between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. According to Stevenson, Crawford's talent, ring IQ, and all-round skills far outweigh the impact of size alone. He argues that Crawford has fought enough styles and calibers of opponents to prepare him for a challenge like this. Stevenson emphasizes that boxing is not solely about weight. It is about timing, precision, and knowing how to neutralize an opponent's advantages. In his eyes, Crawford has proven time and time again that he can adapt to any circumstance. For Stevenson, the outcome rests more on execution and strategy rather than physical size. And he firmly believes Crawford is capable of beating Canelo.
At the end of the day, when you look at Spence, that was my biggest challenge. When you look at Postal, that was my biggest challenge. When you look at Majmov, that was one of my big challenges because I was moving up in weight and, given the circumstances that, his background, amateur background and things like that, Gamboa was my biggest. They all big challenges in their own right.
Have you put on a lot of weight or muscle? Like, how is it in that department? Because I know a lot of people have said, like, hey, you're fighting a big guy, 168, who's used to fighting guys that are bigger than him. It might be smart to put on a little bit more, like, mass.
It comes natural with working out.
Yeah.
Like I said before, the only thing about this camp different than any other camp is I don't gotta cut muscle. I don't gotta, watch what I do in strength conditioning. I can, go fully all out, and just do what I need to do to get stronger.
To you, how much is the skull fight performance kind of like a thing you're keeping an eye on?
Well, that's not a fight that I really, look into because, Canelo is a great fighter, and one bad performance don't define a fighter. Given the circumstances of his previous fights, and we looking forward to Canelo being the best Canelo that he can be. Skull might not have made him get to that point where he felt any danger or any significance where he had to go to that deeper level in training or take the fight as serious as he's taking this fight. So, I don't know what was up with that fight.
Yeah, some said that, and let me know just your perspective on this. Some have said that you have to fight like Skull in order to win the fight. Like, do you feel that you have to fight that way to beat Canelo, or you're like, no, like, I can beat him in the mid-distance?
I just fight my fight, you know what I mean? A lot of people, they have their opinions. They have, what's going to happen.
Even though stepping up to face a bigger opponent presents real challenges, Crawford's recent preparation shows he's not gaining size just for appearing's sake. As Olympic bronze medalist Omari Jones notes, Crawford has made the extra weight meaningful, enhancing his body through focused training rather than simply bulking up indiscriminately. This strategic physical adjustment, coupled with his long-standing discipline and technical refinement, positions Crawford not just to compete, but to excel at super middleweight. Jones sees this fight as a testament to Crawford's dedication, a disciplined athlete pushing boundaries and poised to prove he can rise to the moment against one of boxing's most formidable champions.
There's power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andy Ruiz. You know that shield, that weird hand shield that they hold up for hooks? Yeah. And he's like, this is not for speed. This is just power. He's like, don't try to be fast with this, just power. And you see that, bro, he hits so hard.
Analysts have increasingly questioned the quality of Canelo Alvarez's recent victories, pointing to a trend of tactical low-action bouts rather than dominant decisive wins. His unanimous decision over William Skull in Riyadh, for example, featured just 152 punches thrown by Canelo, the second lowest total in a 12-round fight since CompuBox began tracking data. In contrast, Terence Crawford brings much more to the ring. His ability to seamlessly switch stances, master angles and footwork, and employ elite head movement and ring IQ allows him to control fight tempo and outmaneuver even cautious opponents. This broader arsenal gives Crawford a strategic edge over a power-dependent, methodical Canelo.
What are your thoughts on Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez? Terence going up another 2 weight classes. Just got to 54, he's skipping 60, going straight to 68, talking about what's going on.
I feel like once he beat Canelo, that will be like one of the greatest resumes in boxing ever, just because of the fact that he's going up 2 divisions just to fight this guy, and this guy's bigger than him. And not only did you just crush Errol Spence, but you go out there and the way that he beats Canelo too. if he go out there and just dominate and make it an easy fight, honestly, I think that that's gonna be like one of the best resumes I ever see. But as far as the fight, I feel like Bud could beat him easy.
How though? Don't give me everything, just how is it?
For me, it's a blueprint already. Floyd was a lot smaller than Canelo when he fought him. You keep Canelo on the outside. I ain't gonna even say too much, but you keep him on the outside and make it easy.
Ryan Garcia delivers a realistic yet respectful take on the matchup, highlighting Terence Crawford's elite defensive skills and ring intelligence, while ultimately siding with Canelo. He commends Crawford's ability to slip punches, stay elusive, and frustrate opponents with precise movement. However, despite acknowledging Crawford as a tough and technically gifted fighter, Garcia predicts that Canelo's superior size, power, and durability will carry him through. He suggests that even an effective offense from Crawford may have little impact against Canelo's ability to absorb shots and impose his will.
And he's pretty big. You don't think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. You know, the nutrition, like I said, the training. You know, Crawford, he trains hard. So I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your third win by knockout.
Yes.
I'm super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start. My pro debut in my hometown, and then my second fight, Atlantic City on the Boots card, and then my third fight on the Ben Rodriguez undercard. So Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, they're putting me on these cards, shining light on me, giving me the TV time to put on for my fans, and I feel like I've been doing that.
Crawford's recent physique has generated major buzz ahead of his super middleweight showdown with Canelo Alvarez. His transformation, prominently showcased in social media posts, reveals a strikingly muscular frame, marked by pronounced abs, broader shoulders, and a visibly stronger build. Observers are encouraged by his ripped and shredded appearance, seeing it as evidence that Crawford isn't stepping into the ring undersized, but purposefully prepared to withstand the demands of fighting much larger opponents.
He knocks him the hell out. Canelo doesn't finish these guys, and he doesn't look good beating them. Shout out to the judges. The judges make Canelo look good for the past 6 fights. And so now we sit here, what is Canelo going to do against Crawford? And while some of you are saying, domination and weight, really the only thing that I hear is his weight, his power, his weight, his power, his weight, his power. And that's all that he has. But when I get to talking about Crawford, we'll dive into that.
Well, to Byron's point, the last super quality fight that Canelo had was against Dimitri Bivol, and we all know what happened with that.
No, I thought Caleb Plant was a good opponent. I thought Caleb Plant was a good opponent.
Well, it was Caleb Plant, then it was Bivol.
Right.
Plant, then Bivol.
Well, don't forget to point out that Bivol came down, right?
No, that was 175.
Canelo went up.
Canelo went up.
So that kind of puts Canelo at a disadvantage, right? He tested.
Yeah, if you want to say that.
Great.
If you want to say that.
I mean,
I can argue.
But I'm not saying that that's an excuse for him for losing. I'm just saying, hey, if you're gonna test yourself to be great, you gotta wear the consequence.
So let me ask. No, you're right, 100%. But let me ask you a question. I'm just asking because I don't know. When you watching that fight, did you think it was a weight issue, or did you think it was more of a skill and boxing thing when watching that fight with Bivol and Canelo?
I thought he was outclassed.
I agree. Yeah, it was
outclassed.
And it looked like he was being outclassed by basic fundamental boxing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that was my point. That's what I'm trying. I don't think Bivol's weight had anything to do with him, because Bivol's not a knockout artist.
And this legendary power that y'all speak of, this ass-taking Zeus god power that he has, it did not show in that fight. He landed power shots, and Bivol still put him at the end of that jab and did whatever the hell he wanted to.
He did land power shots, but let's be fair, right? if you got a bigger guy, his punch absorbing is going to be, more than a smaller guy.
Even though stepping up to face a bigger opponent presents real challenges, Crawford's recent preparation shows he's not gaining size just for appearing's sake. As Olympic bronze medalist Omari Jones notes, Crawford has made the extra weight meaningful, enhancing his body through focused training rather than simply bulking up indiscriminately. This strategic physical adjustment, coupled with his long-standing discipline and technical refinement, positions Crawford not just to compete, but to excel at super middleweight. Jones sees this fight as a testament to Crawford's dedication, a disciplined athlete pushing boundaries and poised to prove he can rise to the moment against one of boxing's most formidable champions.
Crawford Canelo, Rod.
Oh.
Keep it a stack. This is the fight of the century. Everybody's talking.
I know.
How do you see it, man?
Man, I really see I see that Bud is gonna do good. He's gonna do good. But I don't think he's gonna win. But I do see Bud like getting a lot of punches off, being able to tag Canelo with some good shots, but they have no effect. That's the thing.
He has the best chin that I've ever seen.
And nothing
in my
moves
life.
his head.
Yeah, I've never.
So
I seen one time Triple G hit him and he kind of like, and then he's right back on it.
Bro, that's the thing. Like, I know he's gonna be able to hit Canelo because I've seen Canelo in sparring where he like, not that he's getting hit. Well, he is getting hit, but it's so ineffective that what he's doing is just he imposing himself too well, and I see that happening.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, Crawford is a great fighter. I think he's one of the best. I just think that he's fighting a little bit more than he could chew. But you never know. If anybody can do it, it could be Crawford. You know, I do see him like when he fights. I'm like, damn, how do you beat this guy? You know, he could do it all. He could box. He could bang. He could, step on the gas when he needs to. He could, he could do everything.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I see is sometimes he gets cracked with some crazy ass shots. But other than that, I mean, he's really one of the most complete fighters I've seen in my life.
Max Kellerman delivers a sharp technical breakdown of the Canelo-Crawford matchup. He highlights that Crawford's jab has emerged as one of the most precise and effective weapons in modern boxing. Quick, timing perfect, and essential in controlling a fight's rhythm. Kellerman notes that while Canelo also possessed a sharp jab earlier, it has notably declined in recent years, granting Crawford a clear edge in range management and scoring opportunities. Beyond that, Kellerman emphasizes Crawford's exceptional ring intelligence, praising his ability to make real-time tactical adjustments and exploit openings that often go unnoticed by others. These subtle advantages, Kellerman suggests, could prove decisive when high IQ fighters collide.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So y'all see it, man. Terence Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded. What looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at one right now, because obviously the weight is at 168, and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right?
Slow down a little bit, but that doesn't mean he's going to be ineffective at that weight. I think it's a bona fide good point to make. Sometimes it does wind up that way, but I'll give you Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. Put on weight, was muscular as he moved up the weight classes, and it didn't affect him. Good old Manny Pacquiao did the same thing, So there's times where it affects, and there's times where I guess if you put it on the right way. Only Crawford knows it because the way he's training, right? Because you're gonna be sparring with this added weight, you're gonna be doing the boxing training with this added weight, so you're gonna know how to, maybe taper it down if you.
Best jab, Crawford. Best defense, Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say
early in the fight, Canelo, and earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.